Evilcheese, and I'm here to show you a custom figure that I made. Ooh, I made this custom figure from a Predator figure that was made by NECA, and I made it so that it resembled one of my favorite characters of all time, and here it is.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy.
That's right, it's the one and only Brak. Ha! It's a Brak Predator.
Dun 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 dun!
What are you doing? I'll show you the figure that I made this from, and it's this Predator, the Jungle Hunter Predator. As you can see, I made quite a few changes to him. Like, you know, I added the belts. I used some straps that I cut off of an old purse, actually, to make the straps, and sculpted the little pockets on there. And I sculpted that little belt on there, belt buckle, I mean. And I ripped off a whole bunch of his armor because it didn't really fit to me. And put some belts here to make Brak's little higher leg thingies. Put some little belt buckles on there. And I left his little butt flap on. I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep it on or not, but I just figured I'd keep it on to keep a little bit of Predator in there. And I sculpted on the beard, because Brak's got that sort of like little beard thing going on, so I had to give him a beard. And sculpted some more spikes on there. Tried to make him kind of like his dreads, because I'd imagine if he had a beard it would probably be the same kind of hair-like thingies that the dreads are. And had to sculpt on, see, there's his original feet. Had to sculpt on some like shoes, some Predator shoes. And I looked at the Predators NECA toys. That's the ones from the new movie, the Super Predators, because they have shoes on, unlike the usual Predators. And I just kind of used them as a basis on how to sculpt these things. And that was difficult, sculpting these. It's not perfect. I'm not the best at sculpting, and I haven't done too many customs yet, but I think it's good enough. I think it looks believable. I wish this would focus a little better, but but maybe I'll show pictures if it doesn't work out too well. And yeah, and also, I don't know if you can tell, but Predator's torso is kind of skinny up here. If you take this armor off, it makes his torso real skinny. So I sculpted on his sides here to make them bigger. And after I did that, he didn't have the netting, so I actually had to take some string, some thread, and glue it on there in a cross pattern to make the actual netting. So he's actually got real netting on there, which is kind of cool. And also, when you rip the armor off, it leaves little holes in his arms, like peg holes. Had to sculpt in there, and then sculpt the netting back on over top of it, and everywhere I ripped armor off. Had to cut off his armor there with a X-Acto knife and sculpt him shit in there a little bit. Wasn't too bad, but yeah, did that. And I guess now, well, you can see as for the paint job, I don't think there's anything on this figure that I didn't paint except for these blades here. Everything else I painted over. Like, nothing else is the original color. Not even his teeth. I painted his teeth. Oh wait, the pink inside of his mouth, that's still the original color. That's about it. Man, it took a lot of work to make a Brak toy, Brak Predator. And I did it because, I always seen Brak and I'm like, he could sorta be a Predator. Now, if you watch the original Space Ghost show, Brak actually had whiskers, and I think that means he's some kind of cat alien, and Predator's more, I don't know, sort of reptilian-like, so I don't think that's what Brak would really be, but still, I just thought the look of him could work, because he's got these big-ass teeth that stick up. Predator's got the big-ass teeth. He's got this little thing that hangs down. Predator's got the dreads, and the way his head's shaped, like that big rounded area on the top. Well, big rounded area on the top. So it just made me think of Predator, and that's why I made this. And yeah. Now some more of what I did with the paint job was, like Predator, like Brak is actually black in all these areas here. It's all black, but I wanted to still make him look Predator-ish, so I made it like his skin is black. Wherever it's black here, it's supposed to be like his skin. That up there is black, it's his skin. So to make it look more like a skin and not a suit, I put the orange dots in there to be like, you know, the dots that this Predator has all over his body, like the pattern and everything. See, that's what all those little orange dots I put on there are supposed to be. And did that on his head. I try to make it fade a little bit in between the black and the orange, and put the dots on like he has the dots. So you got, you know, the black dots going into the orange, and that's kind of what I did there. Then when I painted his dreads, you know, the color of Brak's little cloth thing that hangs, kind of made this the same color since it's all kind of the same thing growing out of him. One thing that I had to make a decision on was the eyes, because Brak has huge eyes, huge green eyes. Predator has little tiny eyes. So instead of just making his little tiny eyes green, I just decided to make it seem like the skin around his eyes is green, and then his actual eyes are black to make it look more like him. So I don't know, I think it kind of worked. And I will say that this toy, this is an official Brak toy, is not painted correctly. Like his colors are almost red instead of orange, and I don't think that's right. And they just didn't get the colors right on him, but still. Look up some pictures of Brak, you can see what I was trying to do. And yeah, on his legs I got some of the orange there too, his sides. As for the arms, you see Brak has the gloves that go all the way down. So what I tried to do was make it seem like, you know, where his skin is showing, it is orange, and has the black dots on it. And then he also has a glove over top, which is not the same color, it's a little darker. And then I also tried to make his, you know, this little wrist or forearm thingy here, I made it sort of like a metallic orange. It didn't turn out too metallic, not as much as I wanted, but still it worked for me, I think. And same on this arm. Just try to make it look a little metallic. And then you just painted a few areas different colors so it would stand out, different shades and everything. Now on the boots, Brak has these giant hooker boots or whatever you want to call them, and I tried to do that basically, but still keep some Predator aspects in there. So if you bend his leg, you can actually still see his skin there. So when it's like that, you don't see it. Like that you do. That's alright. Right here, I thought about just painting these blue, but I kind of liked the way it looked, keeping it that color. Next, I had to paint it sort of like rusty looking. And a few areas I try to make it look scuffed up, because Predators always look like they've been in some battle and stuff. So there's areas where they're scuffed up looking stuff. And I also did that, like the blue straps and everything. I painted some dark colors on there, like black and dark blue, to make them look like they're worn a little bit. Because I didn't want him to be super cartoony looking or anything like that. I want him to be like, he's a realistic sort of Predator Brak, you know, like he's a badass Brak. That's what I was going for. Some of the areas I'm more happy with the sculpting that I did, and then others, like this buckle's kind of not as, I don't know, it just doesn't look as good as I would like it to be, but I'm still practicing. I haven't sculpted a whole lot with this stuff. The pockets are decent enough. I would like them to all be the exact same size, but unfortunately that didn't work exactly the way I wanted it to. But still, I think it looks good enough for me. Another thing I did was, like I said, I made his skin color black, but obviously these parts here wouldn't be his skin, so I just try to make them different black, like this little crotch plate or whatever you want to call it. I made metallic, well not metallic, but like glossy black, so it looks like it's sort of metal. Then this like underwear or whatever, I made like a dark gray, so that it would kind of stand out a little bit. And then all the netting I made like a really dark gray, so it's just slightly different from the skin. And I might eventually do something to make it stand out more, because if you look at the other Predator toys, their skin is slightly glossy, kind of like it is up here. And I might just do that down here too to make it stand out from the netting a little bit more. Another thing I haven't decided on is the color of his little dread rings, or whatever you call them. That's on his dreads. Because Because at first I had him like this gold color, and I kind of liked that. Then I thought I'd try silver. I wasn't sure if I liked it, so I even tried black. So I don't know. I really don't know what color I'm going to keep those. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll just keep them the way they are, just random colors or something. I don't know. You can tell me what you think, but I don't know what color I want to have those. There you can see Brak next to his rival, Space Ghost. And I'd say he's a lot more intimidating than he used to be, looking like this. So Space Ghost might not want to zap him. Although I didn't usually zap him too much. He's always zapping Zorak. And yeah, that's... You get to see Space Ghost next to Super Brak. Yeah, buddy! Another thing that I haven't made yet, I did want to make him some accessories. Damn it, I should have made them before I made this video, but oh well. I just couldn't wait. I was going to make him a little can of beans, because Brak's got to have his beans, and then a hubcap. If you ever seen his song, or heard his song, I Like Hubcaps, or heard the song about beans, and all that shit, that'd be pretty awesome if you had those accessories. I do plan on making a Zorak, and I'm probably not going to do it just yet. I'm going to wait a little bit so I can get another one to make it with. But if you haven't guessed already what I'm going to make Zorak out of, I'll show you. It's not that hard to figure out because you got Predator, you got the aliens, and Zorak's a bug, and aliens are basically like a giant bug. So that's what Zorak's going to be made out of. And I'll have to sculpt some big ass eyeballs on him because that's one thing. You gotta have them big eyes of Zorak, his like mantis eyes. The tail, yeah, I'll probably keep the tail, even though Zorak doesn't have a tail. But I don't know. I'm gonna make a Zorak out of him. I think it'd be awesome. So now I guess what's left to do is I took a bunch of photos of the process of making him, like in the beginning, just to show you what I did to create him, and you can kind of see him in the stages of the process. Oh, one other thing. You can still put on his little laser cannon. Just pop right on there. Come on, get on there, buddy. Okay. There's Brak Predator with the laser cannon. Okay, now I'm going to go through my photos that I took of the process of making this Predator into Brak. And what we got here is the Predator before I did anything to him. This was the original maskless open mouth Predator. This is before he had the double joints, because the other Predator that I compared him to was actually the newer double jointed one. So basically they're the same one, but not exactly. And here you can see on the head just popped off, and I started sculpting on these little spikes. Here it kind of messed up. The one that I had there broke off, and it was already on there, and it was glued, and I just left it that way. Whatever. And all them little spikes were difficult to get to stick on there. I had to sculpt them and then glue them on, because there's no way I'd be able to sculpt it on there. I had to sculpt them by themselves and glue it onto his face. And there's his body. That's I put a few straps on there already. You can see it came from like this sort of, I guess, tan purse. Just cut them into the straps and stuck them on there to make the boots. The pink is actually just like a marker that I use to draw the lines to cut it out. And then I sculpted these little pockets here, each individually, and then I glued it on. And I sculpted this little belt buckle and stuck it on there. And you can see on the sides here, this is where I sculpted his sides on. It's a little uneven here, and I tried to even it up a little more later on. The straps are just kind of glued on there. I just put glue all over the back of the strap, stuck it on. You can see the little hole in his arm. That's where I had to sculpt over it. There's a sculpted belt buckles on his leg straps, and I had to sculpt a little bit to make the strap look like it goes up underneath of his like laser cannon on his shoulder. Now to put little marks and nicks and everything to make it look like his skin on the sides. There's his back. That was kind of difficult. They're not actually going underneath there. I just cut them and try to make it look like they're going underneath. But actually up on the top there, on the top right, is underneath a little bit, but not by much. If you're wondering why his butt flap is ripped, it's because there was a pocket there on the original Predator, and I didn't want it there on Brak, so I ripped it off. So this made it look like it was damaged. So that's just the way I left it. You can see him with his head on. Here's when I first started painting it. I think this might have been the gloss black, because I first painted his skin gloss color, then switched it to like a flat black. There you can see up close the netting that I had to glue on there. It's not completely attached yet, but you can kind of see what I did. If you're wondering what the paint is underneath, it's because I originally just tried to paint on the netting and it didn't look right. That's why I decided to glue on actual thread. Get a look at the boots that I sculpted on. They're difficult as hell. There's some comparison pics of the Classic Predator and Brak Predator. This isn't the final paint job because I didn't put all the scuffed up marks, and also not all of his little orange dots are on him yet. So this is before the final paint. So there's my review. Whoa, Predator. There's my review. Oh, Brak. Oh shit. Are you good? You gonna stand on now? Okay. So there you go. That's the Brak toy that I made. Wasn't really a review because I made it myself, so it's just, I don't know. It's kind of a review, but it's hard to review yourself, so yeah. I don't know. I think it turned out pretty nice for a Brak Predator. It's probably something that most people will be like, why the hell would you make Brak Predator? But I really wanted to. I got obsessed with it, and I wanted to make it, so I did. So there it is. Yeah. And watch out for Zorak Alien Xenomorph, because I'm probably going to make that someday. It's probably going to be a while from now, but eventually I'm going to try to make it. Probably when the new alien toys come out, because I only got a few of these aliens made by NECA. Got a couple McFarlane, but I don't want to mess up the ones I got now, so I'm going to wait till the new ones come out, buy one of them, and buy an extra that I could paint to make Zorak. And you'll see that. There'll be a lot of sculpting involved in that too. But yeah, thanks for watching.
Hey, baby. Yeah, baby. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy, baby boy, buddy, baby boy. Click on the toy to see the review.